The world knows him as the King of Laughter, a man whose voice could spark joy in millions. From the gritty streets of Brooklyn to the glittering screens of Hollywood, his smile lit up blockbusters, his wit redefined comedy, and his spirit became a beacon for dreamers everywhere. But behind the charisma that shook the world lies a story stitched with heartbreak, resilience, and a quiet fight to find peace. This is the tale of a boy who turned pain into punchlines, a man who learned that the greatest victory isn't for myths healing. Born in the spring of 1961, he grew up in a Brooklyn neighborhood where hope was as scarce as sunlight. His home was a small apartment, alive with the warmth of his parents' laughter. His father, a transit worker with a knack for jokes, filled the air with stories. His mother, a telephone operator, wove love into every word. But life was fragile, money was tight, and the streets outside hummed with struggle. By age 3, his world cracked, his parents split, and the laughter faded into echoes. At 8, tragedy struck harder. His father was gone forever, taken in a way no child could understand. The boy carried that loss like a stone, silent but heavy. Soon after, his mother fell ill, too weak to care for her sons. He and his older brother were sent to foster care, a year of nights spent staring out windows, whispering cartoon lines to chase away the dark. Television became his refuge, its flickering glow a shield against loneliness. He mimicked voices, crafted jokes, and turned survival into a game. Comedy wasn't just fun, it was oxygen. When his mother recovered and remarried, the family moved to Long Island, swapping city chaos for suburban quiet. But the scars stayed. He learned early that love could vanish, that laughter was a way to hold the pieces together. In high school, he was the kid who made everyone laugh, classmates, teachers, even the principal. Voted most popular, he wore humor like armor. But behind every joke lingered the shadow of a father's absence, a mother's illness, a childhood spent piecing himself back together. At 15, he stepped onto a stage at a local talent show. The crowd roared, and for the first time, laughter didn't just protect him, it set him free. That night, under shaky spotlights, a spark ignited. He didn't know it then, but those first chuckles were the start of a revolution. By 16, he was hooked. No car, no money, just a kid in worn shoes taking late-night trains to Manhattan's comedy clubs. He'd perform until dawn, trading jokes for sandwiches or a few bucks, sleeping on friends' couches or subway benches. The city was cold, the stages were dim, but every laugh felt like fire. He soaked up the greats' raw honesty, smooth delivery, gritty charm, and wove them into something new. Rejection came hard. Clubs hung up. Producers ignored him. Studios called him too young, too different, but he kept going, fueled by a hunger no one could extinguish. If this story moves you, please share it. It's a reminder that even the darkest nights can lead to dawn. At 19, opportunity knocked. A struggling late-night show needed fresh blood. He called relentlessly until they gave him a shot, a small part, barely a shadow. Then one night, chaos hit. The show ran short, and someone shouted his name. 5 minutes, one chance. He stepped into the light and unleashed everything: voices, rhythm, pain, joy. The audience didn't just laugh, they erupted. That night, a kid from Brooklyn became America's heartbeat. Fame didn't creep in, it crashed like a wave. By 21, he was lighting up movie screens, turning sharp wit into box office gold. His first film was a hit, his second a cultural lightning bolt. By 24, he was the first black star to rule the global box office. A kid from nowhere who made the world laugh on his terms. But success came at a cost. The spotlight burned brighter than he could handle. Days bled into nights, film sets, interviews, red carpets. Sleep was a stranger. The laughter that once saved him now felt like a job. He smiled for cameras, but behind closed doors, he sat in silence, staring at untouched scripts. The world cheered, but he felt alone. He poured his heart into a passion project, a film meant to honor the legends who inspired him. Critics tore it apart. The applause faded, replaced by whispers of failure. He sat in the back of the theater at the premiere, watching the screen glow, feeling the weight of empty seats. The 90s brought more storms. Headlines turned cruel. A single misunderstanding became a media frenzy, painting him in colors he didn't recognize. The world that loved him now seemed eager to tear him down. For the first time, he stepped back. The stages went quiet. He stayed home, listening to his children's laughter, rediscovering what comedy meant, not performance, but connection. Then came a comeback. a film where he played 7 roles, each one a masterpiece. Audiences laughed until they cried, and he felt whole again. Another movie made him a hero to kids, his voice immortalized as a wisecracking sidekick. He wasn't just back, he was reborn, uniting generations with laughter. In 2006, he stunned the world, not with jokes, but with raw emotion. A musical role showed a side no one expected: vulnerable, human, broken. Audiences wept, and he won awards, but the biggest prize slipped away. He walked out of the ceremony, learning that sometimes you have to know when to leave. The years that followed brought peace. A film celebrating comedy's roots earned near-perfect praise. He returned to his old stage, greeted not as a star but as a legend. Peers thanked him, not for fame, but for paving the way. At a ceremony honoring his humor, he didn't perform, he smiled, saying, "This isn't about comedy, it's about surviving it." Love was its own journey. In the 80s, he met a woman who saw past the spotlight. They shared quiet nights, take-out meals, and laughter that felt like home. Their son was born, a light in the chaos. But fame pulled him away: flights, sets, endless noise. He loved his child but missed moments no money could buy. Another love came, steady and calm, bringing another son. But the spotlight burned too bright, and distance grew where love once stood. Both relationships faded, not with anger but with quiet understanding. He stayed close to his sons, vowing they'd never feel the emptiness he once did. Then came a marriage that felt like a fresh start. She was his anchor, her smile a refuge. They built a family: 5 children, a home filled with cereal bowls and cartoon mornings. For years, it was perfect, but fame is relentless. The more he gave the world, the less he had for home. Nights grew long, silences longer. By 2006, they parted, not with fights but with grace. They raised their kids together, 2 parents orbiting the same love. He never spoke ill of her, only of the time they couldn't hold on to. If this story resonates, share it. Let's honor a man who turned heartbreak into hope. That another love came, bright and fierce, like a storm. She was a star in her own right, bold and unapologetic. They burned bright, but passion turned to pain. Misunderstandings spilled into headlines, and their daughter was born amid chaos. Yet when he held her, he saw himself innocent, unbroken. He rebuilt trust quietly, showing up for her without fanfare. Their story wasn't a fairy tale, but it taught him that love means showing up, even when the world is watching. A brief romance followed, a vow on a beach under soft waves. It felt like a new chapter, but back in the real world, it couldn't hold. They parted as friends, no scars, just lessons. Then, in 2012, he met her, his calm after the storm. She didn't chase his fame, didn't need his laughter. She saw him. They built a life in whispers, away from cameras. Their daughter arrived, then a son, named for the brother he'd lost. Those losses still lingered: his brother, his father, the loves that slipped away. But in his children's laughter, he found healing. Grief didn't break him, it deepened him. Now in his 60s, he lives in a Beverly Hills sanctuary, a home, alive with his kids' voices. The man who once chased applause now chases bedtime stories. His mornings are coffee and sunlight, his nights filled with piano notes and soft laughter. He's no longer the world's funniest man, he's a father, a partner, a man at peace. His wealth is vast: millions from films, a car collection gleaming with triumph, a jet to carry him above the noise. But his true riches are quieter: a garden walk, a child's hug, a moment of stillness. He gives without fanfare: millions to hospitals, artists, causes that matter. He doesn't seek headlines, only impact. His health is his focus now: simple meals, long walks, a body slowing but a soul still dancing. He acts when the story calls, like a long-awaited return to his iconic cop role, done his way. Success isn't box office numbers anymore, it's waking up with nothing to prove. His laughter, once a shield, is now a gift, shared with his family. His legacy etched, not in awards but in lives, touched. From a boy whispering jokes in the dark, to a man whose voice changed the world. His story is proof that pain can forge greatness. He taught us to laugh, to heal, to rise. If his journey moves you, hit that like button, share this story, and subscribe for more tales of triumph. Because his life isn't just a Hollywood sog, it's a reminder that no matter how deep the shadows, you can find light, build a home, and make the world laugh again.